No money, bad credit, can you still wholesale real estate? Yes, and I'm living proof, okay? So I closed my first wholesale deal completely broke. I had no credit, no cash, no connections, and I made 35 grand. So in this video, I'm gonna break down exactly what I did, and I want you to stick around because I'm gonna share with you the secret kind of hack that I used to do this without spending a dollar. So let's just start with the truth. Wholesaling is not buying real estate. You're not getting a mortgage. You're not flipping a house. You're basically just flipping a piece of paper, and that's the contract. Your job is really stinking simple. It's basically to find a motivated seller, lock the deal up under contract, and then you're going to assign the contract to a cash buyer for a fee. You're basically going to sell the contract to someone who's going to flip it, and they're going to pay you a commission, and that's it. Okay, so the best part is that none of this requires any money or any credit. So when I first got into the game, I was barely staying afloat. I was just trying to provide for my family, and I couldn't even qualify for a loan if I wanted to. Okay, so don't worry about that. Okay, and I didn't even know what wholesaling was until I watched a video like this one. Okay, and my first deal came from a property that I found listed online, and basically what I did was I called the agent and I asked, why is the seller selling? She basically said, oh, the seller's moving out of state and they just want the property gone. Cool. Now, what I found out was the property had been listed on market for an extended period of time. It had fallen out of escrow several times with other buyers, and the seller was just getting really motivated. They wanted it gone. So I just asked, I said, hey, can you represent me in this transaction? Which she was more than happy to do because that allowed her to collect the buyer side commission as well as the seller side commission. So she was financially incentivized to help me out. So she drew up the purchase contract for $200,000, and then I was able to find a buyer for $235,000, which made me the delta, the 35 grand, okay? And what you should know, just real quick, okay, so it sounds easy, is that this isn't the first person I called. I had to stumble through a bunch of agents that didn't want to talk to me and told me to throw myself off a bridge and all kinds of fun stuff. But when I finally got one to go, the time was worth it, okay? It was a big check, okay? Now, the other thing you should know is that I had no idea what I was doing. I basically just took action, okay? And so here's how you can do the same thing, and you can do it today, and you can do it with no money, and you can do it with no credit, okay? First thing you're gonna do is go on Zillow, and you're gonna search for homes, the keyword that say as is or investor, and then you're gonna call the listing agent and say, hey, I'm a real estate investor and I'm looking for a flip, and I wanted to get some feedback on the property and potentially submit an offer. Can you help me? And what you're going to do in that conversation is just going to create some rapport with the agent and get an idea of what's going on with the property. Now, if you want the full script, which goes over exactly what to ask, it's the second link in the description down below. And once you get feedback on the property, you're basically going to get off the call and you're going to run the numbers using a flip calculator or a wholesale calculator, okay? If you don't have one of those, I can also give you one, third link in the description down below. All right. Now, what you're gonna do is once you run your numbers, you're gonna call the agent back and you're gonna let them know what your offer is for that property. And you're gonna tell them, hey, can you drop this offer for me and just use your standard contract? Let them do the paperwork, okay? Once the offer is accepted, you're gonna take that deal and you're gonna post it in some different investor groups. So if the home is in California, Orange County, you're going to go into Orange County real estate investor groups and you're going to post the property in there and say, hey, I've got this flip. Are there any flippers in here who are looking to buy? You can post it on Craigslist, or you can send it to local buyers that you might meet at a real estate investor meetup. And when you find an interested buyer, you're basically just going to tell the agent, hey, I'm going to be assigning this contract. Can you coordinate the paperwork for me to do that? And either they will do it or their transaction coordinator will coordinate the paperwork, the assignment of contract for you. Okay, now here's the key, okay? One, it's just take action. You don't need to sound perfect. You just need to get started. Just start the conversation, go lock yourself in a room and make some mistakes. Once you start the conversations, these type of conversations, you're gonna get better and better and better, okay? Now here's the thing, the best place to find deals is actually on Zillow, okay? It's totally free, that's awesome. And don't forget to follow up on pending deals. And these are properties that are already under contract with other buyers, and you're gonna call these agents, and this is the secret hack, and this is how I got my first deal. I called a property that was already under contract. Somebody was already in the process of buying. They were falling out. The agent told me, hey, I have a deal falling out, or the buyer is falling out of contract. And I said, cool, can we submit an offer? And she said, yes, let's do it. And that was kind of the secret hack, because nobody calls on those. Everybody calls just listings that are, just regular listings. So calling pending listings is kind of the secret hack, okay? I'm giving that one away for free. So this is just a reminder that if you want my scripts and my flip calculator, I have 2 links in the description down below. I'll get them over to you totally for free. I want to thank you for stopping by. God bless.